I don't know about you, but after a long, hard day of work, there's nothing better than going inside and slipping into a nice, cozy, warm bed. Especially a bed that you just got done building in your own shop. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey on how this bed is made so you can craft it yourself. All right, here we go. Alright, the design of this bed all started with going over to my friend David Coates's. Now David has a sawmill, and you've seen him in some of my past videos as we have collaborated on some other projects. Now I went over to David's and I picked out some pine boards that were 24 inches wide and 10 feet long. These were perfect because these would make the headboard, and also there'd be some leftover material to make some end tables for the beds. Sometimes it is good to know what kind of material you're going to be working with, and that can help steer the project. Alright, after David's, I made a stop over at Home Depot, or as my dad always referred to it, as Two Guys. You East Coast guys might remember that lumberyard back there. Alright, here is the material list of the stuff that I picked up at Home Depot if you want to make this bed yourself. I got two 4x4x10 posts, Doug fir. I have three 2x8x8 foot boards for the front and the sides. I have 16 2x4x8s, and those are for the slats and the support rails that go underneath. And if you don't have a guy like David Coates who is milling lumber locally and you need something for the headboard, you can always buy some boards at the Home Depot or your lumber yard. You know, you could use a combination of 2x6s and 2x10s to make up those boards in the back. Alright, here is a quick look at the bed frame without the mattress on it so you can get an idea of how we are going to build this. And here is a look at the plans. I'm going to be posting pictures of these plans, different shots of the plans throughout the video, so you can pause the video, take a screenshot, and you can build this in your own shop at home. Okay, the dimensions that I am showing here are for a king-size bed, and believe it or not, different king-size beds come in different sizes. You might want to check the mattress that you have and adjust these plans to that mattress. And also, the mattress that I have is 17 inches thick, and that will put the top of this mattress approximately 28 inches above the floor. The first thing that I want to start with is cutting these three posts in the back to 4'4", 52 inches. In total, we will cut three 52-inch posts for the back to support the headboard and the back of the bed. And then we will cut two posts at 11 inches. This will be the front post in the front of the bed. Here's an inside view of the corner, inside corner. And then we will also cut one 9.5-inch post, and that will be the center support in the middle of the bed. And here Teo is doing a beautiful job of putting a 1/4-inch round over on all the edges of these posts. Next up is cutting our front rail at 6'9". And then we can cut two side rails at 7'2½". Alright, next up is to cut the two center support boards. Those are cut from pieces of 2x4, and we're cutting those to 7'2½". You'll see in some of these I am cutting these to a stop because I am making enough to make 3 beds here. Alright, as we move on, we will cut the side supports to 6'7½", 79.5 inches. All right, up next is to cut the slats for the bed. I am cutting 12 of these at 6'6", 78 inches. This is a great time to use a stop, so you can just do many cuts right in a row. All right, now on to straight line these big boards I got from David Coates. I'm just snapping a line here, and then I'm pulling out the skill saw, and I will straight line these. Now, once that's been straight lined, then I can use that straight edge against the fence and rip these into various widths. You know, you can cut these to whatever width you want, you know, come up with your own design for the headboard. Maybe it's lots of boards, maybe it's a few boards. I think this turned out to be one board was 20 inches, the other one was 19 with a 1/4 inch gap in between. As you can see, these boards are amazingly beautiful, and I am cutting these down to 82 inches in length for the king size bed. Okay, now I have gone over the process of Yakisugi in an earlier video. You can go back and watch that video. It's called Yakisugi, and it is the art of burning wood to get a desired finish. It's basically darkening the wood with the torch. And then what I do is I go over the surface with a Scotch-Brite pad that is on the bottom of the sander. I'll put a link to those pads in the description. I'll also put a link to that video in the description. That's a really cool video, and it's just a great process of darkening wood, and I really love how the finish comes out. It definitely is a good idea to have a respirator on while you're doing this. I am wearing the 3M VersaFlow helmet with the cartridge. I have another video on that you can watch. Then I blow this all down with an air hose, and now we are ready for some finish. I know I've been talking a lot about this Bana Mega lately, and you can see Teo, he's putting on a couple coats. We like to put on 2 coats of the Bana Mega floor finish, let that dry, and then we're ready for assembly. Let's take a look at the plans. The headboard is cut to 6'10", and the top board, I have that cut to 1'8", and the bottom one is at 1'7". It just worked out that way. And I have a 1/2 inch gap in between the 2 boards. Now if we flip this around and look on the back side, you can see the top headboard is sticking above the post about 1 inch. And then here's a view from the back. So the total height of the bed is 4'5". The height of the post is 4'4". Okay, I'm now going to assemble the headboard, and when I lay these parts out on the table, I want to lay the posts out so that the outer posts are 6'6" apart, and the middle post, the spacing on that is 2'9 3/4" in from the inside of the outer posts, if that makes sense there. And then if we look at this next picture, you'll see that we have a 2-inch overlay on the side, and then also we have that 1-inch overlay on the top. Alright, finally the day has come to assemble our beds. I have created a jig here on the table out of this wood. So I got our 52-inch 4x4 post, and I'll drop this into the jig here. So there's number one. Here's our center post on the headboard. Up in our other post. And here is the top board for our headboard. This headboard rises an inch above the post on the top, so I'm going to pull that to an inch. I got a little line over here on this side for the inch mark, and I'm just going to put some tape on the bottoms here just to denote. I want to put some glue behind these before I nail these down. So I'm just putting some tape so I know where to put the glue. And now I'm just going to put a couple nails in just to hold it in place. Here I made a quick marking jig out of a piece of cardboard that I can lay on top, and this is going to be the marks where I'm going to put the nails. I'm using the Randy Richard scribe that he sent me. Here are some awesome cut nails that I got. I got these off of Amazon. I'll put the link in the description of these, and this is what I'm going to hold the headboard onto the posts with. So after those are marked, I'll come in with this drill bit. Could be any drill bit. This just happens to be in the drill. A little bit of a pilot hole, and I'll put this nice cut nail right here. All right, assembly day is upon us, and Teo and I are ready to roll to assemble this bed. We cut some small blocks to help in assembly. These blocks are cut at 4 3/4 inches tall, and that sets the rail at the right height. We're using these headlock screws. I like these headlock screws. They got like a washer head on them. They are 2 7/8 inch long. Disregard the 2.5 inches I have written on that block. That block is actually 4 3/4 inch tall, and with using those blocks, that will set the outer rails to a height of 12 inches. If we look here in the plans, it is setting those outer rails above the front post by 1 inch. I also cut some 6-inch blocks to set the inner support rail, that 3.5 inch 2x4 you see right there, and that will hold those at the right height with the 6-inch blocks. It is nice to pre-drill the holes. I made a little marking pattern for the holes out of a piece of cardboard, laid those out, pre-drill, and then put the screws in. Here I'm putting the inner rail on top of the 6-inch blocks, and there I am using 2.5 inch screws to attach that. Here, Teo is using our little cardboard marking jig to mark the holes for the front rail for the screws. Clamp, drill, and screw. This bed goes together very quickly. After the support rails are attached to the sides, then it's nice to grab some slats, lay those across the top, and that will help to prep for putting in the center support boards. So you put those slats in and then pull these center support boards up, attach those to the slats, and that just makes this install go very easily. Also using our blocks to hold up those support boards in the middle. Here I'm drilling some holes and also putting some of those headlock screws through the front rail into those center support boards. Here's Teo putting a few screws into that center support post. This is going to be one strong bed. Alright, and then we just lay the slats on top. We're using little 3.5-inch spacers in between the slats to space them out along the length of the bed. This is a good test of your batteries for your drills. See how long they hold out, which drill is faster. We had a Makita drill going and a Metabo. The Metabo blew away the Makita. And I wanted to add that we did put screws through all the slats into all of the support members. These are some little 3-inch by 3-inch rubber protective pads. They have a sticky side, so we just lifted up each leg and slid one of these under each of them. And that is it. It is time to grab a mattress, put some sheets on it, some bedding, and pull a Rip Van Winkle and get some snoozing in. This bed is ready to rock and roll. I think it just came out absolutely beautiful. It fits the house very nicely. I love that Yakisugi burned finish. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. Lots of thanks to Teo for working with me on that bed. Alright, right on. I hope you guys are great, and I'll see y'all soon.